everyone, and welcome to TWF Collision or Hit in your bedroom. Hi, I, Tony Schiavone, here with Jim Ross and with Taz. And today on Impact, today on Collision or Hit in your bedroom, we are going to see, Drew McIntyre fight LA Knight for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Hear it in your bedroom today on Collision or Hit. Fuck. Well, you got that right, Jim Ross says. Fuck. Okay. Here we go. Well, you got that right, Jim Ross says. We're going to see here today on Collision or Hit in your bedroom if LA Knight can beat Drew McIntyre and become the TWF heavyweight fighter. And at the end of the day, we'll see how that plays off on how Wrestle Dream or Wrestle Madness or whatever the Yield show that we're going to do in the Free With month, or whatever show we end up doing, either it be a WWE one, a TNA one, or AEW one. Jim Ross says, but the asking thing is, will LA Knight beat Drew McIntyre and become the TWF heavyweight fighter? Will that happen? Well, I can tell you one thing right now, Taz says. Drew McIntyre knows what he's doing. Drew McIntyre is no dummy. You saw how he won the TWF heavyweight winnings. You saw how he won the WWE heavyweight winnings. He won both straps by doing something that no one else thought he could do. He outwised the ones he was in the ring with. That's how he became a three-time TWF heavyweight fighter. That's how he became a three-time WWE heavyweight fighter. Not because he was mightier, because he outwised them. He did one thing that the folks that he was warring against forgot about. He learned, work wiser, not harder. And sadly, they did not learn that. Alright, so Drew McIntyre says it's Collision, it's Hit in your bedroom, and I'll still be the TWF heavyweight fighter. That will happen. So come out, LA Knight, because you got a snowball luck in hell of becoming the TWF heavyweight fighter. Is that what you think, Drew McIntyre? Well, here today, I'm going to be leaving in your bedroom as the TWF heavyweight fighter. That's going to happen, yeah. I'm sick of your yeah shit, too. Alright, come on, stand up. This match is for the TWF heavyweight winnings. First, he happens to be LA Knight, and he is the TWF heavyweight fighter, Drew McIntyre. Well, we do know that Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre will fight sooner or later. Will it be LA Knight and Cody Rhodes, or will it be Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes? Tony Schiavone said, well, Jim Ross says LA Knight, has a luck of fighting Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is not no lean over at all. He is a former two-time ICW heavyweight fighter, a one-time WWE NXT heavyweight fighter, a three-time WWE heavyweight fighter, and he is also a one-time TNA heavyweight fighter. So no, he is not a lean over at all. Taz said, I'm glad you kept a reckoning of all the heavyweight straps he won in ICW, WWE, TNA. And here comes Drew McIntyre, Claymore kicking down on LA Knight. Taz says, Because a lot of folks, know that some folks didn't win as many straps. I mean, I won the ECW heavyweight winnings 2 times. One when I was in ECW and when I was in WWF. 1, 2 in the kick out. Well, so Tony Schiavone said, you're telling me, an LA Knight just body slammed Drew McIntyre. So you're telling me that your first run as ECW heavyweight fighter was the longest, your 2-whiff run was the shortest, but some folks never got to win as sundry straps and more than one business, though, Taz. But Drew McIntyre, he is a 3-time WWE heavyweight fighter and a 3-time WWF heavyweight fighter at the same time. And LA Knight has to be careful, has to be aware of that he can only win his match by a cover, a 1, 2, 3, or a yielding. A reckoning out, a throw out, Drew McIntyre will win this strap. And don't forget, Jim Ross says, Drew McIntyre slighted LA Knight yesterday on Friday Night SmackDown by saying he came from Ollie's. But if we can show Drew McIntyre that both dolls he got, one came from Ollie's and one came from Walmart. A body slam, Tony Schiavone said. You're right about that, Jim Ross. And Taz, we all know your first doll came from Big Lots, and your other doll they got either came from the Vinlander Thrift Middle, or wherever it came from. And Drew McIntyre's in a bind right now, but if he's as good as heavyweight fighter as I was during my time in ECW, he'll get right out of that. LA Knight getting ready to do his take on a Claymore kick. Drew McIntyre just Claymore kicked it down. LA Knight, Tony Schiavone says. And LA Knight in a bind now. Future shot. Drew McIntyre is about to beat LA Knight here. Will it happen? 1, 2 in a kick out. Only 2. So now Drew McIntyre's getting irked now. Wait a minute. He just Claymore kicked it down the first fight, Lord, and threw him out of ring, Tony Schiavone said. Well, there goes Jeremy, there goes Roth Burns. He's out now. The match is going to be thrown out, Jim Ross says. And if so, then he's still going to be TWF heavyweight fighter. Well, as of right now, that means he can do whatever he wants to do, He can get away with whatever he wants to get away with. It's lawful, Taz says, since there is no fight keeper in the ring, to stop him. There is no way to stop him. Well, now the new fight keeper comes in now. Varia's in the ring now. And now we wonder if LA Knight is she going to throw the match out or not. Now Drew McIntyre did a Claymore kick again. Here it comes. 1, 2, and only a kick out. Great. What's he going to do now? They're already having a fight right now. You fast reckoned me. No, I didn't flow reckon you. Well, Tony Schiavone said he's going to put himself in a bind, and if he's not watching for LA Knight, he could lose the TWF heavyweight winnings. Yeah, he could lose that, Jim Ross said, and that could happen. And now Varia is out, and that was a mistake. I don't think LA Knight meant for that to happen, but now Varia is out. Tony Schiavone said, now Varia is out now. And that means anyone, can do whatever they want now. And that means that anyone can do whatever they want it to do now. Tony Schiavone says. And that's sad. Yes, it is. It truly is sad now, Jim Ross says. 2 fight lords out. Now we got Jeremy Pickles in there, and that's gonna make 3 fight lords that we already went through already, Tony Schiavone says. Well, I hope, Jim Ross says, that LA Knight just dropped Drew McIntyre, and he's going away to get the win. Now, if Roth Burns gets knocked out of the match, Taz says, what do you think's going to happen from there? 1, 2, and only a kick out. And now, LA Knight we're going to do it again. Only this time, Drew McIntyre got out of the way. LA Knight crashed into the ring steeple. The Claymore kick, Tony Schiavone says. This one could be over, Jim Ross says. Oh, it will be, Taz says. All I had to do is go through 2 fight keepers to get there. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, and still the TWF heavyweight fighter, Drew McIntyre. Well, Drew McIntyre is still the TWF heavyweight fighter, Jim Ross says. Is still the TWF, heavyweight fighter, Jim Ross says. But sadly, it took 2 fight keepers to get there. So sadly, Jim Ross says, what do you think's gonna happen when it comes to that? Well, I don't know, to tell you the truth, Tony Schiavone says. Drew McIntyre might be held answerable for what he did to the first fight keeper. Jeremy Pickles, or Roth Burns. And then taking Jeremy Pickles out, that was LA Knight, but that was a mishap. Taking out Varia, that was a mishap. So the truth is, I don't know what's going to happen, to tell you the truth. And Drew McIntyre can feel really happy with himself. Well, he should be, Taz says. He should be truly happy with himself. He outbeat LA Knight. He's still the TWF heavyweight fighter. Alright, take it away now, Jonathan Coachman. Thank you, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. I'm going to be talking with Drew McIntyre, the TWF heavyweight fighter, here today on Collision or Hit. Well, Jonathan Coachman says, you're still the TWF heavyweight fighter, Drew McIntyre. However, some would say that what you did in the ring, what you did to Roth Burns was wrong. First off, Roth Burns, he flow reckoned me. He knew I had the match won, and he flow reckoned me. So I got even with him. And as far as Varia, well, that was not on me. That was on LA Knight. And as far as Roth Burns, he flow reckoned me. Happened to Varia, well, that was on LA Knight. It's what happened to Jeremy Pickles. I didn't do anything to him. Because unlike the other first 2, he knew what his work was. So are you worried about Theodore Long, the main wicker? Or Astronema, the 4-setter and head leadership wicker, coming down on you? The leadership team coming down on you for what you did to Roth Burns? No, I'm not, Jonathan Coachman, because I'm the TWF heavyweight fighter. So I'm not worried about any of them, coming down on me. Not at all. I beat LA Knight. And that means you're on the list now, Cody Rhodes. And whenever the next show is, I'll still be the TWF heavyweight fighter. What I did to LA Knight, I'll do to you. Well, that's my talk with Drew McIntyre. Back to you, Jonathan. Thank to you, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. Well, thank you, Jonathan Coachman, for talking with Drew McIntyre here today on Collision or Hit in Your Bedroom. And that's all the time we got it for Collision or Hit or In Your Bedroom. I, Tony Schiavone, with Jim Ross and Taz. We hope you like Collision or Hit in Your Bedroom, and we'll see you tomorrow for Power or Might.